Number 1. This 1936 Ford three-window coupe, priced at $48,000, is located in San Antonio, Texas. When you look at this car, the first thing that hits you is how effortlessly it captures that classic 1930s style. Yet it also gives off a modern, updated vibe. The body lines are smooth and clean. The black paint has that deep shine that makes it look almost like a piece of art, and the overall stance feels balanced and purposeful. It's the kind of car that turns heads not just because it's old, but because it still looks right in today's world. Now, if you're wondering what makes this coupe stand out from a typical restoration, the answer is the way it blends classic design with modern driving comfort. This isn't just a car you display on weekends. It's a car that's built to be driven and driven hard. The seller notes that it's an older restoration, which means it has character, and it's been designed to offer a strong, enjoyable driving experience without the stress of a delicate museum piece. Let's talk about what's under the hood. This coupe is equipped with a 350 engine paired with a 350 automatic transmission, which is a classic combination known for reliability and smooth power delivery. It's not trying to be a race car, but it has enough muscle to make highway driving feel effortless. The engine setup is paired with a Holley Sniper fuel system, which is a modern upgrade that improves fuel delivery and throttle response. This means the car reacts more predictably and feels more refined than many other classic builds. The suspension and handling upgrades are also worth noting. The front suspension has been upgraded with a Mustang 2 setup, which gives the car improved steering control and stability. This kind of upgrade is popular for a reason. It makes the car feel more planted, especially when you're cruising or taking turns. The rear end features a Chevy 10-bolt axle on parallel leaf springs, which helps support the car's weight and contributes to a balanced ride. When you combine these upgrades, you get a classic car that handles much more like a modern vehicle than you might expect. Even the wheels have been thoughtfully chosen. The car uses Chevy-style bolt pattern wheels, which add to the clean, cohesive look of the build. It's subtle, but it helps tie the whole package together. And while the exterior is black, the interior offers a contrasting brown tone that gives the cabin a warm, vintage feel. It's the kind of interior that makes you want to slide in, close the door, and just enjoy the ride. One of the biggest surprises in this build is the inclusion of air conditioning and power windows. These are features you don't usually associate with a car from the 1930s, but they make a huge difference in everyday comfort. Imagine driving this on a warm day. Most classic cars can get uncomfortably hot inside, but this one keeps you comfortable, which makes it more usable for longer trips. The seller also mentions the trunk area has been finished and includes an Optima battery with a battery disconnect switch. This is a small detail, but it shows attention to practicality. A finished trunk makes the car feel more complete, and the battery disconnect is a smart feature for storage or long periods of inactivity. Now, the seller is honest about the fact that it's not a perfect show car. It's not a flawless, museum-quality restoration. But what it is a fun driver with a lot of personality. It's the kind of car that's perfect for someone who wants a classic ride that they can actually use without worrying about treating it like a fragile collectible. If you're the type of person who wants to feel the road and enjoy the experience of driving, this coupe could be a great match. So, if you're looking for a classic that blends vintage style with modern upgrades, and you want something that's built to be enjoyed rather than just looked at, this 1936 Ford three-window coupe is definitely worth considering. It's a rare find, and with its combination of classic design and modern performance enhancements, it offers a unique driving experience that you don't see every day. Number 2. This 1949 Plymouth coupe, currently listed at $60,000, is located in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. When you first lay eyes on this 1949 Plymouth coupe, it's easy to think you're looking at a perfectly preserved relic from a bygone era. The bright orange paint glows under the sunlight, and the classic lines of the body give off that unmistakable post-war American style. But if you take a closer look, you'll quickly realize this car is not just a restoration. It's a full-blown custom creation built for modern driving, and it's one of those rare builds that actually manages to balance classic aesthetics with modern performance. Let's start with the basics. This Plymouth is an all-metal build, which already sets it apart from many custom cars that rely on fiberglass or other lightweight materials. The foundation is a 1949 chassis, but it's been significantly upgraded with a Mustang front clip. This means the front end, including the suspension and steering components, has been modernized for better handling and improved driving dynamics. It gives the car a sturdier, more stable feel, and also makes it safer and more reliable on the road. The bodywork continues to blend different eras in a tasteful way. The car features 1951 fenders and a 1951 hood, which give it a slightly more aggressive and streamlined look compared to a stock 1949 model. These subtle changes help create a more custom and unique appearance without going overboard or losing the classic charm. Now, let's talk about what's under the hood, because this is where the car really comes to life. This Plymouth is powered by a 392 Hemi engine, paired with a 700R4 automatic transmission. For many classic car enthusiasts, the 392 Hemi is the stuff of legends, an engine known for its power, reliability, and distinctive sound. The 700R4 transmission is a solid choice for modern driving, offering smooth shifts and a more comfortable cruising experience than older transmissions. But the upgrades don't stop there. This car is equipped with Sniper EFI, which stand for electronic fuel injection. EFI is a major upgrade over carburetors, especially for older vehicles. It improves cold starts, fuel efficiency, throttle response, and overall drivability. In short, this car starts easier, runs smoother, and is far more dependable than a typical vintage vehicle. If you've ever driven a classic car, you know that comfort can sometimes take a back seat to style. But this Plymouth has been built with comfort in mind. The interior is fully upholstered in leather, including the seats, door panels, and even the floors. That level of detail is not only luxurious, but it also shows a commitment to quality craftsmanship. Imagine stepping into this car and feeling the smooth leather beneath your hands and feet. It's the kind of detail that makes driving feel special. The car also features air conditioning, which is a huge bonus. Classic cars often lack modern climate control, and that can make them difficult to drive during hot weather. With AC, this Plymouth becomes a much more practical car for everyday use or long road trips. You can enjoy the classic look without sacrificing comfort. Another major feature is the sound system. The seller mentions that thousands of dollars were spent on the audio setup, which suggests a high-quality system that's likely to deliver great sound without compromising the car's interior style. Whether you're cruising down the highway or rolling through town, you can enjoy music with clarity and power. One of the most impressive parts of this build is the level of investment that went into it. The seller states that close to $200,000 was spent on the original build. That's a staggering number, but it also tells you that this wasn't a quick project or a budget restoration. This was a serious build, likely involving professional craftsmanship, high-quality parts, and meticulous attention to detail. Over the last 2 years, the car has been refined and transformed from a show car into a streetable vehicle. That's an important distinction. Many custom cars look incredible, but are not designed for regular driving. This Plymouth, however, has been developed to be driven and enjoyed. It runs and drives very well. And it's clear that the seller has put time into making it reliable and practical for real-world use. The car also includes air ride bags, which allow the owner to adjust the ride height for different driving situations. This can improve comfort, handling, and appearance depending on whether you're cruising or showing the car. When it comes to wheels, the car comes with Colorado custom wheels, which offer a modern and stylish look. But the seller also includes classic hubcaps with wide white wall tires. This gives the buyer options. Either keep the modern setup or switch to the classic look for a more nostalgic feel. It's a nice touch that shows the build was done with flexibility and personal preference in mind. So who is this car for? If you're someone who loves the look of classic cars, but wants the reliability and comfort of modern driving, this Plymouth is a dream. It's the kind of car that draws attention wherever it goes, yet it's built to be driven and enjoyed, not just parked in a garage. Whether you're heading to a car show, a weekend cruise, or simply taking a long drive with the windows down, this car offers a unique experience. In a world where many classic cars are either untouched relics or heavily modified beyond recognition, this 1949 Plymouth Coupe strikes a rare balance. It honors the past while embracing the present, delivering a blend of style, power, and comfort that's hard to find. If you're looking for a classic with personality, performance, and modern usability, this Plymouth is worth a serious look. It's more than a car, it's a statement. A rolling piece of history that has been reborn for today's roads. Number 3. This 1950 Pontiac Silver Streak, currently listed at $19,500, is located in Vaughan, Ormy, Texas. If you've ever wondered what it would feel like to drive a piece of automotive history, this 1950 Pontiac Silver Streak might be your chance. This car isn't just a vehicle, it's a time capsule. It represents an era when American car design was bold, expressive, and unapologetically stylish. The Silver Streak was known for its distinctive chrome accents and its sleek, flowing lines, and this particular model stays true to that classic heritage. Let's start with the look. From the outside, the first thing that grabs your attention is the factory two-tone paint. It's the kind of color scheme that makes you stop and look twice. Two-tone finishes were popular in the late 1940s and early 1950s because they added a sense of elegance and flair that plain, single-color cars simply didn't have. It gives this Pontiac an authentic, museum-quality appearance, like it could have rolled off the showroom floor just yesterday. But the styling doesn't stop there. This Silver Streak also features factory fender skirts, which were a signature design detail of the time. Fender skirts give the car a more aerodynamic, streamlined look, and they also add a level of sophistication that many modern cars can't match. Combined with the overall body design, they make this car look like it's gliding, even when it's standing still. Now, if you look inside, you'll notice the details that make this car feel genuinely vintage. It comes with a factory radio and clock, which are not just functional. They're a reminder of a different era of driving. These details make the cabin feel authentic, like stepping into a classic movie scene. And then there's the traffic light viewer, a small but fascinating feature that many people today have never even heard of. This little windshield prism was used to help drivers see traffic lights more clearly from a distance, especially in an era before modern traffic systems and advanced road design. It's a small piece of history that adds character and tells a story about how driving used to be. The car also includes a sun visor, which may seem like a minor detail, but it adds to the period-correct look and gives the interior a true vintage feel. When you combine these features, you get a car that feels like a genuine time machine, one that you can drive. Under the hood, this Pontiac has been updated with a 350 crate engine and a turbo 350 automatic transmission. That means you're not just getting a beautiful classic, you're getting a classic that performs. A crate engine is a modern replacement engine that is built to deliver reliable power and consistent performance. Paired with the turbo 350 automatic transmission, this car offers smooth shifting and a more comfortable driving experience compared to many older vehicles. In other words, it's a classic that you can actually enjoy driving without worrying about constant maintenance or outdated mechanical systems. The listing notes that the car has been driven 50,000 miles, which is relatively low for a vehicle of this age. It's had 2 owners, and it's fully paid off with a clean title. That's important because it means the car is ready to be purchased without any complications or financial strings attached. For collectors, that's a big deal. For everyday enthusiasts, it means you can focus on enjoying the car rather than dealing with paperwork or potential issues. One of the best parts about this listing is that it's described as running and driving great. The fact that it's also equipped with new Hankook tires is another sign that it's been cared for and prepared for the road. New tires can make a huge difference in how a classic car feels to drive, better grip, improved handling, and more confidence on the road. So what kind of person would be interested in this Pontiac? It's perfect for someone who loves the classic look of the 1950s but wants a car that's more practical to drive today. It's ideal for weekend cruises, car shows, or even just as a standout piece in a collection. The Silver Streak has that timeless style that never goes out of fashion, and it's a car that makes a statement wherever it goes. If you've ever wanted to own a car that combines classic design, authentic features, and modern performance upgrades, this 1950 Pontiac Silver Streak could be a rare opportunity. At $19,500, it's not just a car, it's a piece of history that you can drive, enjoy, and show off. Number 4. This 1939 Ford four-door sedan, listed at $25,000, is located in Mesquite, Texas. Now, when you look at a classic car like this, you might expect it to be a museum piece, something that sits quietly under a cover, only coming out for special events. But this Ford is different. It's the kind of car that still feels alive, the kind you can actually drive without worrying that it's too precious to touch. It's a true driver's car, built for real use and real enjoyment. The first thing you notice is the exterior. It's painted black, giving it a timeless, almost mysterious presence on the road. It doesn't shout for attention, but it commands respect. The clean lines and classic shape remind you that this was a time when cars were designed with character and personality. And because this is an all-steel body, it has that solid, heavy feel that many modern cars simply don't have. It's built like a tank, and that's part of its charm. Inside, the contrast is striking. The interior is a bold red, and the seller describes it as super nice. You can imagine sitting behind the wheel, feeling the texture of the seats, and looking at the classic dashboard with a sense of nostalgia. This isn't just a car you drive, it's a car you experience. And the fact that the interior and trunk alone are valued at $10,000 tells you that this car has been taken care of with real attention to detail. Under the hood, the upgrades make this Ford much more than just a classic body on old mechanics. It's powered by a 350 engine, paired with a 700 R4 automatic transmission. That combination is a classic performance setup, offering reliable power and smooth shifting. It's the kind of drivetrain that makes long drives comfortable, even by today's standards. And then you have the modern upgrades that make this car surprisingly easy to live with. It includes power steering, power brakes, and a tilt steering wheel. These features make it more comfortable and easier to drive, especially if you're used to modern cars. It's not just about speed or looks, it's about usability. This is a car you can actually take on a road trip without feeling like you're stepping back into a completely different era. The front end has been upgraded with a Mustang II Pinto setup, which improves handling and gives the car a more modern driving feel. It also features Bob Drake running boards, a 10-bolt rear end, and new tires and wheels. These upgrades show that the car has been thoughtfully built for performance and reliability, not just for show. The mileage reads 111,111, which is oddly satisfying in its symmetry. It's almost like the car is telling you a story through its numbers. And the seller notes that it has a clean title, is paid off, and has no significant damage or problems. That's important because it means you're not buying into a project. This is a car that's ready to be driven. One of the best parts of a car like this is the feeling of history. When you drive it, you're not just moving from one place to another. You're carrying a piece of the past into the present. You can imagine the era it came from, the roads it might have traveled, and the people who once owned similar cars. But at the same time, it's been updated in a way that makes it practical and enjoyable today. This 1939 Ford four-door sedan is not a show car. It's not trying to be perfect. Instead, it's a real, honest classic with modern upgrades, a strong build, and a presence that you can feel the moment you sit inside. If you're looking for a vintage vehicle that blends timeless style with real-world drivability, this Ford could be exactly what you've been searching for. Number 5. This 1936 Chevrolet Master Deluxe Tudor sedan, currently listed at $35,000, is located in Germantown, Tennessee. If you're someone who appreciates the elegance of classic American cars, this 1936 Chevrolet Master Deluxe Tudor sedan is the kind of vehicle that makes you pause and really take it in. It's not just a vintage car. It's a living piece of automotive history, a symbol of a time when cars were built with style, craftsmanship, and character. This particular model has been cared for with a level of attention that you don't always see, and it's easy to understand why it has remained in such excellent condition. The listing states that the car has only 5,000 miles driven, which is incredibly low for a vehicle that's nearly a century old. It's described as being in excellent condition with a clean title, meaning there are no major issues or significant damage. For a classic car, that's a huge advantage because so many vehicles from this era have been through multiple owners and sometimes years of neglect. What makes this car especially interesting is the story behind its ownership. The seller has owned it for 7 years, and is only the fourth owner overall. That suggests the car has likely been treated with respect and kept in good condition throughout its life. During those 7 years, the seller invested in a thoughtful restoration rather than making hasty or excessive modifications. In 2019, the car was repainted, giving it a fresh and vibrant look. All the weather stripping was replaced, which is important because older rubber parts can crack and allow moisture to get inside the car. A full interior refurbishment was also done, with new leather installed on the original seat frames. This is a key detail because it means the car retains its original structure and design, while the interior looks and feels new. It's a blend of classic authenticity and modern comfort. Another major plus is that the car has all original body parts with no rust. That's a rare find, because rust is often the biggest enemy of classic cars, especially those that have spent time in humid climates. Having a rust-free body means the car has a solid foundation and is much easier to maintain over time. The new glass installed during the repainting also adds to the car's refreshed appearance and improves visibility and safety. The car has been fully rewired, which is a significant upgrade. Old wiring can become brittle and unreliable, leading to electrical issues that are difficult to diagnose. Rewiring improves safety and reliability, and the new gauges help the driver monitor the car's performance more accurately. It's a practical update that makes the car more enjoyable to drive on a regular basis. Visually, the car has some subtle enhancements that give it a more modern stance while still preserving its classic look. It rides on 15-inch Craigar wheels, which are a popular choice for classic cars because they add a bold, timeless style. The front tires are lower profile, giving the car a slightly more aggressive and sporty appearance. But the real transformation is under the hood. This Chevrolet is powered by a GM 350 cubic inch engine, paired with a 350 turbo transmission and a shift kit. That means the car offers modern performance without losing its vintage charm. The drivetrain has an estimated 5,000 miles, which suggests it's been driven carefully and is still in great condition. The combination of a powerful engine and a smooth automatic transmission makes this car much easier to drive than many other classic vehicles, especially in modern traffic. To improve handling and comfort, the car features a Mustang independent front suspension, front disc brakes, and power steering. These upgrades make a huge difference when you're behind the wheel. Instead of feeling like a heavy, stiff antique, the car drives more like a modern vehicle, with better steering response and more control braking. It's a classic car that feels more alive on the road. It's worth noting that this car does not have air conditioning or heat, which is typical for vehicles of this era. While some people might see that as a drawback, many classic car enthusiasts actually prefer it. It keeps the car true to its original design and adds to the authentic driving experience. There's something special about cruising in a vintage car, windows down, enjoying the sound of the engine and the feel of the road. During the restoration, the seller added a couple of tasteful styling upgrades. The car now features 1939-style LED taillights, which blend the classic look of the era with modern lighting technology. This not only looks great, but also improves visibility and safety. A Hagen-style fuel tank lid was also installed, adding a small but meaningful detail that enhances the car's overall aesthetic. Overall, this 1936 Chevrolet Master Deluxe Tudor sedan is a remarkable example of a classic car that has been restored with care and upgraded for modern driving. It's a rare opportunity to own a piece of automotive history that looks great, drives smoothly, and has been maintained to a high standard. If you're looking for a classic sedan with a powerful engine, modern handling, and timeless style, this Chevrolet is definitely worth a closer look. Number 6. This 1938 Ford F1, priced at $35,000, is located in Alvarado, Texas, just outside the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, if you're someone who loves classic cars but also wants something that feels modern under the hood, this 1938 Ford Coupe might be exactly what you've been looking for. At first glance, the car has that timeless 1930s charm. Clean lines, a classic silhouette, and a look that instantly makes you think of the golden age of American automobiles. But the moment you dig a little deeper, you realize this isn't just a restored vintage car. It's been upgraded thoughtfully to drive like a more modern machine, while still keeping its classic soul. This coupe is painted in a striking blue exterior, paired with a gray interior that gives it a sleek, understated look. It's the kind of color combination that stands out without being too loud, elegant, but still bold. The seller notes that the car has been driven just 2,750 miles, which tells you it's been treated more like a prized possession than a daily driver. It also has a clean title, and the vehicle is paid off, which is a big plus for anyone looking to buy without any complications. Under the hood, this Ford is powered by an SBC 350 engine paired with a turbo 350 transmission. That's a classic performance setup that delivers reliable power and smooth shifting, making the car enjoyable to drive on the road. It's not just about speed, though. It's about how the car feels when you're behind the wheel. With this combination, the coupe has a strong, confident presence on the road, and it's built to be driven, not just displayed. One of the things that really stands out about this build is the number of thoughtful upgrades. The car features a Camaro rear end, which helps with stability and performance, especially at higher speeds. It also has a Camaro steering column, which gives the steering a more modern feel and improves control. The front end has been upgraded with a Nova clip, which is a common modification for improving the overall handling and fitment of the front suspension. These upgrades aren't just for show. They're practical improvements that make the car safer and more enjoyable to drive. Inside, the coupe has a custom interior, which adds a personal and stylish touch to the cabin. It's not a factory reproduction. It's something that's been designed to match the car's overall look and feel. The seller also mentions power brakes, which is another important upgrade for a car with this kind of performance. When you're driving a classic coupe, having modern braking power makes a huge difference in confidence and safety. The seller also highlights that the car has brand new fuel lines, carburetor, gas tank, and sending unit. These are important details because they show the car has been maintained and updated in key areas. Fuel system upgrades like these help ensure reliability and reduce the chance of issues down the road. On top of that, the car has always been stored inside, which is a huge plus when it comes to preserving the body and paint. The seller mentions there's a folder full of paperwork for the car, and they're open to questions. That's a great sign, because it means the owner has kept records of the work that has been done. It's always reassuring when a car comes with documentation, especially for a build like this. It helps show the history and care that's gone into the vehicle. Overall, this 1938 Ford Coupe is a solid example of a classic car that's been upgraded to be more usable in today's world. It has the look and charm of a vintage vehicle, but it's been modernized in all the right ways. If you're someone who wants a classic coupe that you can drive comfortably and confidently, this could be a perfect match. At $35,000, it's priced competitively for a build like this, especially considering the upgrades and the low mileage. Number 7. This 1938 Pontiac Torrent, currently listed at $19,838, is located in Katy, Texas. When you think of a classic car from the late 1930s, you probably imagine something elegant, heavy, and built like a tank, something that looks like it belongs in a black and white movie. This 1938 Pontiac Torrent four-door sedan fits that image perfectly, but it's also a surprisingly modern driver underneath. It's not just a car you look at, it's a car you can actually enjoy driving on today's roads. This particular Pontiac is an all-steel street rod, meaning the body is original steel rather than fiberglass or composite materials. That alone adds a level of authenticity and durability that many collectors value. The car is said to have approximately 2,500 miles on an older restoration, which tells you it's been driven and enjoyed rather than just sitting in a garage as a showpiece. Let's talk about the powertrain, because this is where the Pontiac really comes to life. It's powered by a small block 350 Chevy engine, a reliable and widely loved power plant in the hot rodding community. The engine is equipped with headers and a dual exhaust system, giving it a deeper, more aggressive sound. It also has an electric fan, which helps keep things cool during long drives or in hot weather, especially important in Texas. The car features power steering and power brakes, which makes it much easier to drive than an original 1938 vehicle. You don't have to fight the steering or strain to stop, and that alone makes this car far more enjoyable for regular use. It also has air conditioning, a feature that makes a huge difference when you're cruising in the summer heat. Imagine driving this classic through the city with cool air blowing through the cabin. It's a blend of old-school style and modern comfort. The transmission is a 350 automatic, which pairs well with the Chevy small block and makes the driving experience smooth and relaxed. You can cruise down the highway without constantly shifting gears, which is exactly the kind of comfort you want in a street rod. The front end has been upgraded to a Mustang 2 setup with disc brakes, while the rear retains drum brakes. This is a common and effective upgrade because it improves handling and stopping power significantly. Disc brakes in the front are a big safety and performance improvement, especially when paired with modern tires. Speaking of tires, this Pontiac comes with new tires and wheels, which not only improves the look, but also the ride quality and safety. New tires mean better traction, better handling, and a more confident drive. Now let's move to the visual details. The exterior is finished in a burgundy Merlot metallic paint that looks especially impressive in the sun. The seller notes it could use a final buffing, which suggests the paint is in good shape but might benefit from a final polish to bring out an even deeper shine. The car has no known rust or rot, and the body is described as solid. That's a big deal for a vehicle of this age because rust can quickly become a major issue in older cars. The bumpers have been re-chromed, giving them a fresh, bright look. All the glass is in good condition, which is another sign of a well-maintained restoration. The overall exterior presentation is classic and clean, with that timeless 1930s silhouette that still looks elegant even today. Inside, the car features a nice two-tone interior in tan, which complements the burgundy exterior beautifully. The interior has been upgraded with an IDIT tilt steering column, which allows for adjustable steering wheel position, a modern convenience that makes driving more comfortable. On top of that sits a custom wood-rimmed steering wheel, adding a touch of luxury and classic style. It's the kind of detail that makes you feel like you're stepping into a car that was built for enjoyment, not just for show. One of the key points the seller mentions is that this isn't a top-flight show car. It's an older restoration, but it's described as a solid, nice driver. That distinction is important. A show car might look perfect, but be difficult or expensive to drive regularly. This Pontiac, on the other hand, is built to be driven. The seller even says it's a car you can drive anywhere, which suggests it's reliable and comfortable enough for longer trips. The car is listed at $19,838, and the seller is open to offers. It comes with a clear Texas title, and the vehicle is paid off with a clean title, meaning there's no financing or liens attached, which makes the buying process smoother. If you're looking for a classic car that has the look and feel of the 1930s but the drivability and comfort of a modern vehicle, this Pontiac is a strong candidate. It's a great option for someone who wants a vintage ride that they can actually use without constantly worrying about mechanical issues or outdated technology. It's the kind of car that turns heads at a stoplight, but also gives you the confidence to take it on a long cruise. In a world where many classic cars are either untouched originals or heavily modified beyond recognition, this 1938 Pontiac Torrent strikes a balance. It maintains its classic charm while offering modern upgrades that make it practical and enjoyable. If you're searching for a solid driver with character, style, and a strong build, this Pontiac is definitely worth checking out. Number 8. This 1936 Pontiac, currently listed at $12,000, is located in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. If you're the kind of person who appreciates classic cars for their history, their character, and the stories they carry, then this 1936 Pontiac could be a real hidden gem. This isn't just a vehicle. It's a snapshot of a different time in American automotive design, when cars were built with bold lines, graceful curves, and a level of craftsmanship that feels rare today. Right away, you can tell this car has been cared for in a way that keeps its spirit alive. The listing describes it as used, but like new, and while it does need some cosmetic work, specifically paint, its overall condition is impressive. That's part of what makes this car so intriguing. It's not a complete restoration project, but rather a strong foundation with great potential. The interior is noted to be in great shape, which is a huge plus for a car this age. Many classic vehicles end up with worn-out seats, cracked dashboards, and faded trim, but this one appears to have retained its original charm inside. When you step into a well-preserved interior like this, it's like stepping back in time. You can almost imagine what it felt like to drive it in the 1930s, with the sound of the engine and the feel of the steering wheel in your hands. Mechanically, the car is described as running and driving, which is one of the most important aspects for anyone looking to buy a classic. The fact that it's running good means you're not starting from zero. You're starting from a car that already has a solid foundation. What it needs most is cosmetic attention, specifically a paint job, which is a common and manageable upgrade for classic car enthusiasts. Now, the price is interesting. The seller originally asked $15,000, but it's been reduced to $12,000 or best offer star. That tells you two things. First, the seller is motivated, and second, there's room for negotiation. For a car like this, that could be a great opportunity if you're willing to invest in the paint and perhaps do a bit of finishing work to bring it up to your ideal standard. A 1936 Pontiac has that timeless style that makes it stand out even today. The design from that era is iconic. Rounded fenders, classic grille styling, and a body shape that looks both elegant and strong. Even without a full restoration, the car has a presence that modern vehicles simply don't replicate. It's the kind of car that gets attention just by being parked on the street. If you're considering a classic project car, this Pontiac offers a balanced starting point. It's not a full restoration job, but it does need some finishing touches to really shine. The great interior and running condition mean you can focus on the visual upgrades and enjoy the car as you go. So who would this car be perfect for? It's ideal for someone who loves classic cars but doesn't want to start from scratch. It's also great for someone who enjoys taking a car and making it their own, adding paint and personal touches to bring out the best in it. At $12,000, this 1936 Pontiac represents a strong value for a classic car with good bones and real potential. Number 9. This 1947 Chevrolet Stylemaster, priced at $8,000, is currently located in Weatherford, Texas. If you're a fan of classic cars that feel like they belong in a different era, this 1947 Chevrolet Stylemaster is the kind of vehicle that makes you stop and look. It has that old-school charm, the kind of presence that doesn't just blend into traffic. The black exterior gives it a timeless look, and even without a flashy color, it still manages to stand out in a subtle, confident way. This is the kind of car that makes a statement without trying too hard. The seller is very clear about one thing: no trades. This car is being offered as is, and the price reflects the fact that it's been rebuilt and upgraded in key areas. The vehicle has 59,244 miles on the odometer, and it runs on gasoline with an automatic transmission. It also has a clean title, and the seller states that it has no significant damage or problems, which is a reassuring detail for anyone looking at older vehicles. Under the hood, this Stylemaster is powered by a 235 cubic inch straight-six engine, which is a classic Chevy setup. But what makes this car really interesting is the modern reliability built into it. The transmission is a Jenkins rebuilt 700R4, which is known for smooth shifting and strong performance. That alone makes this car much more enjoyable to drive than a stock setup from the 1940s. The seller has also upgraded the rear end to a 1978 Dana 44, which is a heavy-duty, reliable differential that adds strength and stability. Along with that, the car has a new drive shaft and U-joints, new brakes, and new Coker wide white wall tires, giving it that classic look while also improving safety and drivability. Cooling and performance have also been upgraded, with a new 4-core radiator, a new electric radiator fan, and a heavy-duty transmission cooler. These additions are especially important if you plan to drive the car regularly, especially in warm weather. The last thing you want is an overheating classic, and these upgrades show that the car has been built with real-world use in mind. The engine has also been improved with a new carburetor and a new HEI distributor, both of which help the engine run more smoothly and reliably. These upgrades are the kind of details that matter when you're driving a classic car, because they help reduce the typical issues that can come with older engines. In short, this 1947 Chevrolet Stylemaster isn't just a vintage car that looks good. It's a classic that's been rebuilt with practical upgrades, making it a real driver. It's the kind of vehicle that you could take out on the weekends, cruise through town, and enjoy the feeling of being behind the wheel of something from a different time, but with modern reliability. If you're looking for a classic Chevrolet that's been thoughtfully upgraded and is ready to drive, this Stylemaster could be a great option. It blends old-school style with modern mechanical improvements, making it a solid choice for someone who wants a classic without the headache. Number 10. This 1951 Chevrolet Styleline Deluxe, currently listed at $35,000, is located in Fort Worth, Texas. If you're a fan of classic cars with timeless style and modern drivability, this 1951 Chevrolet Styleline Deluxe is a standout example. It's a vehicle that blends the elegance of early 1950s design with the upgrades needed for comfortable, reliable driving today. Listed at $35,000, it's a serious collector's piece that also feels surprisingly modern behind the wheel. The listing shows that this car has only 2,100 miles driven, and it comes with an automatic transmission, a classic black exterior, and a clean white interior. It runs on gasoline and is paid off, so there are no liens or financing complications. Another plus for buyers who want a clean purchase process. The seller notes that the car has recently been gone through from top to bottom, meaning it has received a comprehensive restoration and upgrade. The paint is described as older with some imperfections and minor hail damage, but overall the car is solid and looks great. The seller also points out that all trim is intact and in decent condition, which is important for a classic car like this. One of the biggest upgrades is the electrical system. The car has been fitted with an all-new American Auto wire harness, along with new lights all around. This is a major improvement for reliability and safety, especially compared to original wiring from the 1950s. The car also has an old Air Products air conditioning system, though it still needs to be charged. That means it has the potential to be comfortable even on hot days once the system is completed. Cooling has been improved with 3 Permacool electric fans and a new aluminum radiator. Under the hood, the car is powered by a GM Crate 350 engine, paired with a 700 R4 transmission. This combination is a classic performance setup that delivers reliable power and smooth shifting. The engine also features a Holley mid-mount serpentine setup, dual breather, and a new exhaust system. The fuel system has been upgraded with a new fuel tank, and the car features Dakota digital gauges with a matching center clock for a clean, modern dashboard look. Inside, the car has been refreshed with new carpet and newly upholstered seats in a stylish tuxedo pattern. A locker shifter adds a custom touch to the driving experience. The steering column has been replaced, and the car features a retro-style steering wheel, giving the interior a classic look with modern reliability. The exterior and finishing details are also impressive. The car sits on brand new chrome steel wheels with Chevy caps and fat white wall tires, giving it that authentic classic appearance. It also has yellow fog lights, a repop visor, and all trim intact, which keeps the car looking period correct. One of the most significant upgrades is the suspension. The car is equipped with all-new Jimenez Brothers front and rear air ride, giving it adjustable ride height and a smooth, comfortable feel on the road. The front end features a Mustang 2 setup with disc brakes, power steering, and a power brake booster. The master cylinder is mounted on a rail under the car for a clean look and improved performance. The trunk has been finished out and includes a notch cover, which is a nice detail for show-quality appearance. Overall, the seller says the car shows well, is solid, and looks great. The asking price is $35,000 or best offer, and the seller is also open to trades of equal value. If you're looking for a classic 1950s Chevrolet with modern upgrades, this Styleline Deluxe offers a strong combination of style, comfort, and performance. It's a great option for someone who wants a classic car that can be driven regularly without the typical headaches of an original, unmodified vehicle. Number 11. This 1954 Chevrolet Bel Air sedan, listed at $12,000, is located in Azle, Texas. When you think of classic American cars, the Bel Air is one of those names that instantly comes to mind. It's a symbol of the 1950s era, full of style, chrome, and that unmistakable vintage charm. In this particular example, a 1954 model carries that iconic look in a way that feels both nostalgic and timeless. It's painted in a cool blue shade, which gives it a classic yet calm appearance, like a car you might see cruising down a quiet suburban street on a sunny afternoon. Now, what makes this car interesting is that it's not presented as a perfect restoration or a showroom piece. Instead, it feels like a real, honest classic that's been driven and enjoyed. The seller notes that it has been driven around 100,000 miles, though the exact mileage is uncertain because the speedometer isn't working. That might sound like a drawback, but it also tells you something important. This is a car that has history. It has been used, lived in, and experienced the kind of wear that gives a vintage vehicle character. One of the most important details is that the engine has been rebuilt. That's a big deal for a car this age. A rebuilt motor means the heart of the car has been refreshed, and it's more likely to run reliably than a vehicle with its original, untouched engine. The seller also mentions that the car runs and drives good, which is exactly what you want to hear when you're looking at a classic that you might actually want to drive regularly. This Bel Air is being sold as a project that's already been given a major boost with a rebuilt engine. It's the kind of car that's perfect for someone who wants to do a little finishing work, maybe fix the speedometer, and then enjoy it as a cruiser or a weekend driver. The classic styling is already there, and the mechanical foundation seems solid, so the rest is just a matter of personal preference and taste. The fact that the car is located in Azle, Texas also matters. Texas is known for having a large number of classic vehicles, and the dry climate can be easier on older cars compared to places with heavy rust issues. The seller doesn't mention any major damage or problems, and the vehicle seems to be in a condition where it can be driven and enjoyed. Now, let's talk about the value. At $12,000, this Bel Air is priced in a range that makes it accessible to many classic car enthusiasts. It's not a high-end restoration, but it's a solid starting point for someone who wants to build or customize a classic car without breaking the bank. The rebuilt motor adds value, and the car's overall condition suggests it's a realistic option for someone who wants a classic project that can become a daily driver or a weekend cruiser. If you're the type of person who loves the idea of a classic car with a story, this 1954 Chevrolet Bel Air could be a great match. It's not perfect, but it's real. It's the kind of car that you can imagine restoring over time, adding your own personal touches, and making it truly your own. Whether you're looking for a project car or a classic cruiser, this Bel Air offers a lot of potential. Number 12. This 1948 Chevrolet Fleetline Aero sedan, currently listed at $36,500, is located in Dallas, Texas. When you see a classic car like this 1948 Chevrolet Fleetline Aero sedan, you're looking at a piece of automotive history, something that represents the transition from the pre-war era into the post-war boom. The Fleetline was known for its distinctive fastback styling, which gave it a sleek, aerodynamic look that was ahead of its time. Even today, the lines of the Fleetline still look modern compared to many cars of the same era. This particular example is a black beauty with a gold interior, and it carries the kind of presence that makes people stop and stare. Now, let's talk about what makes this car special beyond just its looks. The listing shows it has 122,445 miles on the odometer. At first glance, that might seem high for a classic, but mileage in cars of this era isn't always a negative. Many of these vehicles were built to be driven, and this one has clearly seen a lot of life. What matters most is how it has been maintained, and in this case, the car is being offered with a clean history and a paid-off status. One of the most notable features of this Fleetline is that it still has its original 235 engine and a 3-speed manual transmission. For classic car enthusiasts, originality is a big deal. An original engine means you're experiencing the car the way it was built decades ago, without modern swaps or replacements that can change the character of the vehicle. The 235 inline-six engine was a reliable workhorse for Chevrolet, known for its durability and smooth-running nature. Paired with the 3-speed manual transmission, driving this Fleetline is a very hands-on experience. You feel connected to the car in a way that modern vehicles rarely provide. The black exterior gives the car a timeless, elegant look. Black can be unforgiving because it shows every scratch and swirl, but it also looks incredibly classy when well-maintained. Paired with a gold interior, the color combination creates a rich, vintage vibe that suits the era perfectly. The gold interior likely adds warmth and style to the cabin, making it feel more luxurious than many cars from that time period. Another interesting point is that the car has had only 2 owners. For a vehicle that's over 75 years old, that's a relatively low number, and it can be a sign of careful ownership and proper maintenance. The listing also notes that the vehicle is paid off, which makes the buying process simpler and more straightforward. Now, the seller's description is short and direct. 1948 Fleetline 235 engine, 3-sped original. No trades. It's clear and to the point, but there's a story behind that simplicity. Sometimes, the most valuable classic cars are the ones that don't need a long list of features to prove their worth. This Fleetline is essentially saying, I'm original. I'm classic. If you know, you know. Driving a car like this is a unique experience. The Fleetline's fastback design makes it feel aerodynamic and sleek, even at lower speeds. The manual transmission requires you to engage with the car, to feel the gears, and listen to the engine. It's the kind of driving experience that takes you back in time, when cars were mechanical, not computerized. It's also worth mentioning that classic cars like this are often sought after for their style more than their practicality. A Fleetline isn't a modern daily driver, but it's a perfect weekend cruiser or a show car that makes a statement. It's the kind of car that looks incredible parked in front of a classic diner or rolling through a historic downtown area. The fastback shape and long body lines give it a dramatic presence that's hard to ignore. For collectors, the originality of the engine and transmission could be a major selling point. Many classic cars have had engine swaps or upgrades over the years, which can be exciting for some buyers but less desirable for purists. This Fleetline's original drivetrain means it's closer to a true period-correct vehicle. That kind of authenticity can add value and appeal, especially for someone who wants a car that feels real and untouched. Of course, buying a classic car always comes with some considerations. With 122,445 miles, it's important to check the mechanical condition, the state of the body, and whether any parts have been replaced or restored. But if the car is well-maintained and still running strong, that mileage could simply reflect a life well lived. In a world where many classic cars have been heavily modified or rebuilt, this 1948 Chevrolet Fleetline Aero sedan stands out for its authenticity. It's a car that represents an era when design was bold and distinctive, and when cars were built to last. If you're someone who appreciates classic styling, original engineering, and a driving experience that's truly vintage, this Fleetline is worth a closer look. At $36,500, it's not just a car, it's a piece of history that you can own, drive, and enjoy. If you're looking for a classic that's original, iconic, and full of character, this 1948 Fleetline could be the one. Number 13. This 1935 Ford Slantback, currently listed at $19,000, is located in Saraland, Alabama. When you think of classic cars, a 1935 Ford Slantback is the kind of vehicle that immediately grabs your attention. It's one of those rare, iconic designs that looks like it belongs in an old gangster movie, a car you could picture rolling down a dusty street with a story behind it. And this particular example is a perfect blend of that vintage charisma with modern performance, something that makes it stand out in a world of restored classics and high-tech replicas. This car is a 4-door slantback sedan, which means it has that unique, angled rear roofline that gives it a sleek and aerodynamic silhouette. The body is all steel, which is a huge plus for collectors and enthusiasts. Steel bodies have a certain weight and presence that fiberglass can't replicate, and they also tend to hold up better over time when properly maintained. The seller specifically notes that there's no rust and no nonsense, which is a big deal for a car this old. Now, here's where the car gets really interesting. Underneath the classic exterior is a modern heart, a 5.7-liter all-aluminum Camaro drivetrain. That means this isn't just a pretty car that looks the part. It's built to move. The 5.7 engine is known for its strong performance and smooth power delivery, and paired with the automatic transmission, it makes the car easy to drive in today's traffic. This combination gives the car a modern muscle car feel, while still keeping the vintage look that makes it so special. If you've ever driven a classic car, you know that comfort can sometimes be a challenge. Old cars weren't built for modern comfort standards, and many require upgrades to make them enjoyable on long drives. This Slantback has been updated with a brand new interior, featuring plush leather seats and a fresh headliner. That kind of interior work transforms the cabin into a more comfortable and luxurious space, making it a pleasure to sit in, even on longer drives. The seller also mentions that air conditioning parts are included, but they still need the final hookup. That means the car has the potential to be even more comfortable, especially in hot climates. Adding AC to a classic car can make a huge difference in drivability, and it's a great upgrade for anyone planning to use the car regularly. One of the most eye-catching details is the car's aesthetic. It's finished in a sleek black exterior with a matching black interior, giving it a bold and timeless look. But what really adds personality are the bullet hole-style stickers, giving it that outlaw, Bonnie, and Clyde vibe. It's the kind of styling choice that tells you this car isn't trying to be a museum piece. It's meant to be seen, enjoyed, and remembered. The car is described as a timeless rebel with modern muscle, and that's an accurate way to put it. It's the kind of car that turns heads at car meets, parades, or even just driving down the street. The combination of classic styling and modern power makes it a fun and engaging drive. The seller also notes that the price has been reduced, which would be a great opportunity for someone looking to own a unique piece of automotive history without breaking the bank. At $19,000, it's a strong value for a car that combines a classic body with a modern drivetrain and a newly finished interior. Another point to consider is that the car has only been driven about 1,000 miles. That suggests the build is relatively fresh, and the car hasn't been worn out by heavy use. It's been driven enough to show it runs well, but not so much that it feels like a high-mileage vehicle. The listing also mentions that the vehicle is paid off and has a clean title, which is always a positive when purchasing a classic car. It means there are no liens or financing complications, and the ownership history is straightforward. In terms of the driving experience, this car is likely to feel surprisingly modern. The 5.7 Camaro drivetrain provides strong acceleration and a smooth power delivery, while the automatic transmission makes it easy to handle in traffic. Yet the body and styling keep it firmly rooted in the 1930s, creating a unique contrast that is part of the car's charm. This isn't a car for someone who wants a perfect show car that sits in a garage. It's a car for someone who wants to drive something that makes a statement, something that looks like it belongs in a classic film, but performs like a modern muscle car. It's the kind of vehicle that's fun to show off, but also fun to drive. If you're looking for a classic with personality, power, and a strong presence, this 1935 Ford Slantback is a compelling option. It's a piece of history with a modern twist, one that offers the best of both worlds, timeless style and modern performance. And if you're ready to own a car that feels like a legend on wheels, this Slantback might be the one you've been waiting for. It's not just a car, it's a statement. Number 14. This 1937 Ford two-door sedan, priced at $72,500, is currently located in McAllen, Texas. At first glance, this is the kind of car that immediately grabs your attention. The bright red exterior is bold and confident, a color that doesn't just look good, it demands to be seen. And when you pair that with a clean, ivory leather interior, you get a classic look that feels both timeless and luxurious. This isn't just a car, it's a statement. A rolling piece of history that's been carefully restored and upgraded to be more than just a showpiece. The seller describes it as a show car, and that's clear from the details. The car has only 2,000 miles on it, which tells you that it's been driven sparingly and likely kept in excellent condition. It's paid off, has a clean title, and the seller states that it has no significant damage or problems. That's an important detail when you're looking at a classic of this caliber, especially one that's been built to such high standards. Under the hood, this Ford is powered by a small block Chevy, a popular choice for classic car builds because of its reliability and performance. But what really sets this car apart is the professionally built frame. This isn't a car that's been pieced together. It's been thoughtfully constructed from the ground up, with attention to both performance and appearance. The car also features modern driving comforts that make it enjoyable to drive, not just look at. It comes with power brakes and power steering, making it much easier to handle than a stock 1937 model. It also has air conditioning, which is a huge upgrade for comfort, especially in Texas heat. These modern upgrades mean you can actually take this car out for a long drive without sacrificing comfort or safety. Inside, the ivory leather interior gives the car a premium, elegant feel. The seller notes that it's all leather, which adds to the luxury and attention to detail. The interior color contrasts beautifully with the red exterior, creating a classic look that feels both vintage and upscale. The car also includes digital gauges, which is a modern touch that keeps the classic look while improving functionality. And the wheels are custom, giving the car a personalized touch that adds to its overall appeal. This 1937 Ford is shown by appointment, which is common for high-end classics like this. It's located in McAllen, Texas, and is clearly being treated as a serious collector's item. If you're someone who appreciates classic cars that have been professionally built and thoughtfully upgraded, this is the kind of vehicle that offers both beauty and performance. In short, this 1937 Ford two-door sedan is a high-quality show car with modern performance upgrades and a stunning, luxurious interior. It's the kind of car that you can display at events, but also enjoy driving, if you're willing to treat it with the care it deserves. With its striking red exterior and clean, ivory leather interior, it's a classic that truly stands out. Number 15. This 1951 Chevrolet Styleline Deluxe, currently listed at $1,500, is located in Longview, Texas. If you're someone who loves the idea of turning a classic car into something truly special, this 1951 Chevrolet Styleline Deluxe is one of those listings that instantly sparks the imagination. At just $1,500, it's priced like a project car, which means you're not buying a finished product, you're buying potential. And for many enthusiasts, that's exactly what makes a car like this exciting. The listing shows that the car has been driven 123,456 miles, and it comes with an automatic transmission. The exterior color is listed as brown, while the interior color isn't specified. The car runs on gasoline, and at this price and mileage, it's safe to assume that it likely needs significant work to be road-ready or restored. But that's also part of the appeal. This is the kind of car that gives you a blank canvas to work with. One of the most important details in the listing is the seller's simple description, as title. That might sound basic, but it's actually one of the most valuable things you can see when shopping for a classic project car. A clear title means the ownership is documented and the car can be legally transferred. For many buyers, that alone makes the car worth considering, because a title can be one of the hardest things to secure when dealing with older vehicles. Now, let's talk about what you're really buying here. The opportunity to build something unique. The Chevrolet Styleline Deluxe is a model that carries a lot of classic 1950s charm. Its design is simple but elegant, with the kind of styling that feels nostalgic and timeless. This era of Chevrolet is known for its clean lines and sturdy build. And even when it's not in perfect condition, it still has a presence that you don't see in modern cars. Because the listing is sparse on details, there's a lot left to the imagination. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It means you can choose your own direction for the build. Maybe you want to restore it to a period-correct show car, keeping everything as close to original as possible. Or perhaps you're thinking of a custom build with a modern drivetrain, updated suspension, and a fresh interior. The possibilities are wide open. For a project car like this, the first step is usually a thorough inspection. You want to check the condition of the body, look for rust or structural damage, and see what's needed for the engine and transmission. With 123,456 miles, it's possible the original drivetrain is still in place, but it could also be in need of a rebuild or replacement. That's part of what makes a project car a real project. It's not just cosmetic work, it's mechanical and sometimes electrical as well. One of the biggest rewards of taking on a restoration is the satisfaction of seeing the transformation. A car that starts out as a rough, worn-out vehicle can become something that turns heads. And when you're working on a classic like a 1951 Styleline Deluxe, the end result can be especially impressive because of the car's timeless design. If you're a collector or builder who enjoys a hands-on project, this Chevrolet could be a great candidate. It's the kind of car that can be brought back to life with time, patience, and the right parts. And once it's restored, it becomes more than just a car. It becomes a story, a personal achievement, and a tribute to a classic era of American automotive design. At $1,500, this isn't a finished classic, it's an opportunity. And for the right buyer, that opportunity could turn into something truly special. Whether you're looking for a weekend project or a long-term build, this 1951 Chevrolet Styleline Deluxe could be the starting point for your next automotive adventure.